Time to solve the mystery of the mystical cube stand. What's inside? There's nothing inside the mystical cube stand.
What's going on, guys? My name is Untitled Cubing, and in this video I will be teaching you how to solve the 5x5 Rubik's Cube. Okay, here we go. The thing is scrambled. So here's an overview of this method. This is a lot like the 4x4 method that I taught in a previous video, but there will be no edge parity, and the centers and edges will be a little bit more complicated. So without further ado, let's just jump right into this tutorial. So obviously the first thing you're going to do is solve the centers. If you know how reduction method works, first you solve the center blocks, then you solve the edge blocks, and then from there you solve it like a 3x3 with these center blocks acting as a center and the edge blocks acting as an edge. In all layered cubes, there's no parity, like I said before, so I won't need to teach you very many algorithms. So, yeah, the first thing you're going to do is solve the white center, or I guess whatever you want. So, let's go. This step should be pretty intuitive, but if you can't figure it out, that's totally fine. So I'm just going to, I have these two down here. I always work in like 1x3 strips for this. See, like I solved the entire middle row right there. And rather than move on to some other center next to it, next we're going to solve the yellow center. But before we do that, I'm going to keep talking about the white center in case you couldn't figure that out. If you did figure out the white center without a problem, you can skip to the time on the bottom of the screen right there. So if you couldn't figure out the center, I'll scramble this again. So you can tell that this is the face where you're going to be solving it, because this has the very center as a white piece, and that piece is not going to move no matter what you do. So what I always do is I work in 1x3 strips of pieces. So now that strip is solved because I just had that down there. Let's see, what else can we do? So bring these up here so we can work with them more easily. Same with this one. I want to be able to see it. So what can we do here? Well, let's see. We've got this and this here. I'm just going to be calling this an edge and that a corner from now on. Another edge and corner, another random edge. So we don't have any 1x3 strips made by now, but we do have a 1x2 strip right here and here. So it's okay to break one of those as long as you're forming a 1x3 over here. Then you can just bring that up. It's on the bottom face. Just bring that up like you normally would. But if it's like that or something, make sure to do like D moves and stuff first. And for the last one, the middle one, some people will do the middle first. That's totally fine. I do that sometimes, but I guess not this time. What I always do is I just line these two edges up here, then do like an F move, then do an M slice, and bring all of these into that M slice, then do an M prime. So there we go. There's our white center, and we are now ready to move on to the yellow center, or whatever color is opposite the color you solved on. So once again, I'm going to be working in these little 1x3 strips. Just like form them one at a time, like I've got that one. And if you're going to bring them up to the yellow center, which you're going to have to, be sure to not just do that, because then your white one will be broken. So what I always do is I do this, and then I move this into the way so I can bring that up with whatever else was there. And that way the white face is undisturbed. So let's move on to our next 1x3 strip. Here we go. I would just work one piece at a time going vertically, because going horizontally is going to be a lot more difficult. So let's move that out of the way again. Then bring this down, move this into the way, and bring it up with all those other things. And now for the last one, we're going to do M slice, F or F prime, whichever you prefer, then M prime slice. And now we've got our yellow center. Not too much different from the white. You just need to undo all your fat layer moves. Now we're going to move on to some other center. Right now, the orange one looks kind of easy, so we'll do that. I have this here, and I have these two things over here, so I'm going to just move that over there. So I've got 2 of my 1x3 strips already done. So I'm just going to move that out of there. And I guess I'm going to put the corner in. If you're going to do these like one piece at a time, I would go one corner first, then pair it with an edge to make a 1x2 strip, then find the last corner. It's like over here. Then just put that corner in by itself, but put it in a way that allows you, like, you see the missing piece is up here, so you're going to want to move that over here. Then just turn that back up, and that will go into that slot, and then you can just take that entire row and insert it. Alright, now we're going to move on to one of the ones next to it. It's not too much different, but you obviously can't do like these moves and stuff. That would disturb the white face unless you have some way to fix it. But I just don't do it because it's hard to fix. Now, I recommend you do one of the ones next to it. You can do the one across from it, but that makes things a little bit more difficult otherwise later, because you'll have to like turn the cube back and forth to see both sides. So I'm just going to do blue because that looks really easy. Let's see. If we do that, that'll line up with that. Okay, so now we've got 2 of our 1x3 strip things. And that just slid into place right there. So now if we just do that, we can bring this back over here. And make sure we're undoing all of our fat U's and fat D's. That way the orange face will not be disturbed. And then we can just do fat U, F2, and then fat U prime, so that both this one and this one are solved. Alright, then we move on to last 2 centers, which is a bit more complicated than on the 4x4, but knowledge of how to solve the 4x4 is definitely going to help you here. It makes it a little bit easier that the fixed centers are here, so you don't screw it up and have the red next to the orange and stuff like that. But once again, you're going to try to work in 1x3 strips. This one is pretty easy, but a lot of times it will be more difficult. So I'm just going to walk you through this one. Once again, make sure you're undoing all of your fat U and D moves as to not disturb the other 2 faces. And this time you're only going to want to do face turns on the red or green faces that don't have orange or blue on them. Like if you did this, you wouldn't want to do any face turns on the green face because that would mess up the orange. So if you did this, you'd probably want to only do face turns on this side because you can move that freely however you want and nothing else will be disturbed. So what I'm going to do is, I have this 1x3 strip already paired, so let's just insert that like that. And then I would just move this over here, but it's not in the correct spot to do that. So what you're going to want to do is just bring this all the way up here so that when you do this, it gets pushed out of the way so it doesn't get disturbed. Then you'll want to put that into the slot that you want to put it in later. Then turn that back, turn this back, and you can insert it into that slot. And then you can take this 1x3 strip bar thingy and put it over there. And then we've got our centers done. So now it's time to move on to the edge pairing, where we're just going to take these 3 edges and make them all solid. And do the same for all of the other edge pieces. But the first thing we're going to do is just get them into edges like this, where they have 2 of the same edge and then 1 different one, so that when we do the rest later, it'll be easier to do, and you're a lot less likely to run into last 2 edges cases that are very difficult. So I would work based on where the center edge is. I'm gonna call these centers and edges now. So this is a lot like the 4x4 for this part. Just get one of these next to its corresponding center. You can do both if the situation arises where you would need to, but I recommend that you do that not too often, as to prevent last 2 edges cases later. So how we're going to do this is I always put this over here, like I'm doing white and red. So here's white and red with the red on top, with the white on top, and then I will do fat R prime, F R, F prime, fat R. And what that basically did was this. It brought this down here, but broke these centers. So then I moved it out of the way, replaced it with a scrambled edge, and just fixed the centers again. So if it helps to think of it that way, then by all means do so, because it's harder to memorize algorithms than just things to do. So here's another one. I'm going to do white, green. So here's the white on top, green on top. So here's the lefty case of that. Lefty. Yeah, that makes sense. We're going to do fat L. Wait, actually, now is a good time to do an example. You'll want to put your scrambled edge on the F face next to your edge that's getting paired. So, and also, it's totally fine to use these ones that have already been done, as long as the edge that is getting scrambled is in the same position as this one. So this one's on the far left, this one's on the far left. It's totally fine to do that, and these 2 will remain undisturbed. So I'm going to do fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime, and as you can see, these 2 remained undisturbed. They just moved over here. So now it's time to just do the rest of these. Yellow, blue, yellow on top, blue on top. And if you ever find cases like this where you have like in my case, I have white and orange already next to each other, but this one's flipped, just get that out of that spot as fast as you can, because the other one is what goes there. That would be this one. So I'm going to put this in so that that's the edge getting scrambled. So it would be fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime. Let's see. And here we go, white, orange, fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime. Let's see, blue, orange. That edge has these 2 solved, so I want to move that out of the way. So we can do fat R prime, F R, F prime, fat R. Let's see, what do we have next? Red, yellow, fat R prime, F prime, fat R. Looks like this edge got solved, but that's not a problem at all. Just don't do it too much. Let's see, white, blue, fat R prime, F prime, fat R. Let's see, green, red. Where's another green, red one? See, here's that case again. You've got this and that next to each other, but the other green-red edge is what goes in there. So let's just position these so that this one can knock that out. Also, these two are solved, so we're going to want to move that out of the way. So, fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime. And there we go. Now, orange, green, that one's solved, so let's move it out of the way. Here's one that will work okay for this because this is the one that's scrambled, and that's also going to be the one that's getting replaced. So it'll be fat R prime, F prime, fat R. Let's see. Here's one that is still not done, and here's another one that's still not done. So first, let's do this one. We've got yellow, orange. Here's another yellow, orange one. So, actually, let's put this one in the way just to knock out that backwards one. So it'll be fat R prime, F prime, fat R. And now here's the last one. So let's put in an edge over here that's scrambled down there. So, see, fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime. And if you ever want to check if you have any left, what I always do is I check the top face. That one's done, that one's fine, that one's fine, that one's fine. Then I do the middle layer. That one's okay, that one's fine, that one's fine, that one's alright. And these four on the bottom are also fine. So we don't have any left to do. So we can move on to the next step, which is getting the edges completely solved. So we're just going to be doing the same thing we have before, but just make sure that you get all of them into either 2 and then 1, or just all 3 solved first, and then pair them all into their solved state. So, I forgot which one I was doing. I think it was this one. Same algorithm. Fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime. Fat R prime, F prime, fat R. And I guess this one got solved too. Just keep in mind also that that one will be going here. That one will be going here, and this one will be going there. So here's that one, here's that one, here's that one. And we've done the algorithm. Now, let's see, that one's solved, and these two have changed. So just keep that in mind when you get to either the last 3 or the last 2. Let's see, what have we got here? Fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime. You're gonna want to go until you have 3 left, but it's okay if you end up with 2. I'll show you how to deal with that later. So, fat L, F prime, L prime, F, fat L prime. And let's see. Here's our orange, green, white, green, orange, yellow. So let's see if we have any left. That one we just found. So 1, 2, 3. And looks like we've got exactly 3 left. which is what we want. So just put these two in position and put this one in position, and like I said before, these three are going to cycle and the edges will all be solved. But in the event that you get down to either 4 or 2 and there are not any good ways to get down to 3, you're just going to want to do your 4x4 OLL parity algorithm. I'll put that on the screen. And just work from there. From there, it's really easy to figure it out. And it'll be just like what we've been doing before. You'll just have like 4 scrambled edges, maybe it's 5, I don't know. And you just like pair them up into 2 and then 1, and then just 3 cycle all the edges. So that's how you deal with that if you don't get to a case where you have 3 edges left, but normally you will. So if you don't want to learn that, you can usually get away with that. And then from there, you will just solve like a 3x3, which I will do really quick. Okay. So here's another F12 pair. I just looked up on my phone. For a second, I was like totally out of frame. So I hope this entire video hasn't been like out of frame. But let's see if there's anything I forgot to mention. There's no edge parity in this because it is a 5x5, and that is an odd layered cube with fixed centers. So there's no way to get the edge parity during the 3x3 stage. And there we go. So I hope this video helps you, whether you just want to get your 5x5 into its solved state so you can have it on your desk and brag to all your non-cuber friends, or if you want to learn a 5x5 method that's fairly easy to remember and can still be speed solved with. Hopefully you were either helped by or enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions, then you can either email me at mentoscubing@gmail.com to ask me, or you can leave in the comment section below whatever questions you might have so that I or some other speed cuber can help you with that. And with all that being said, I think that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I forget to mention in this video is that the 5x5 I'm using is the Milfeng Jiaoshi MF5S 5x5. Or I think that's what this is. If that doesn't exist, then it's not. But if it does, that's definitely what this is. So, I'll put it on the screen whether it exists or not right now, because as of now, I'm really not sure. But as I'm editing this, I can just do internet research and find out. But yeah, it's a pretty nice 5x5. It's fast, comes in stickerless, which was really important for me because I don't want to have to re-sticker this. It turns really smoothly, really well. Let's see. It corner cuts, I'd say it was pretty well for a 5x5. Not quite 2 pieces, but what 5x5 can. It can go anywhere lower than that. So, reverse cutting, let's find out. I'm doing this one-handed because I took the camera out of the tripod already, and since it's an iPhone 7, it's too big to fit back in really easily. So I decided to film like this and use one hand. So, yeah, Milfeng Jiaoshi MF5S, really nice 5x5 at a pretty low price point. I definitely recommend that you check it out. Unless you already have a nice 5x5, or this one for that matter, or you just don't care about how nice your 5x5 is. I'm going to stop now.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel and join the Mint Cube if you haven't already. Also, dislike this video if it helped you or entertained you in any way. Thank you and goodbye. Subscribe or you're dead to me.